Well, the title says pretty much everything that this video is going to entail. I haven't made a video like this in a little minute. I've been kind of just traveling around, enjoying the places I've gone to and seeing everything and trying to document everything, but at the same time, just create things that I really want to create. And that went into my whole plan of like why I quit my job and everything that I was chasing as far as like passion and purpose. Always before these videos, I ask that like I'm able to speak in a way that is easily understandable and a way that it's easy for people to kind of follow along and not get so confused because I know like my mind could be like everywhere when I create videos, but I'm getting a little bit more used to it because when I had just left my job and started traveling, it was like my first time creating a YouTube video. And now I feel like I'm getting a little bit more used to talking in front of a camera and doing little things like that, which like before you probably wouldn't even see me do this ever. Well, I was working at a job in sales. Like I would sell TV, phone, internet to people in like North Dallas. I grew up in near Dallas, and it was like far east, but I was working far north where it's like developing so much now. And I sold TV, phone, all those little services, worked with a lot of customers, all that stuff. One thing I loved about that job is that it helped me to network more and to get out of my shell because I grew up really like quiet and shysty, well, not shysty, but shy. um, just kind of like stuck in my shell, like more introverted versus just speaking to people and speaking to strangers. So working in sales really got me out of that shell and it showed me what I can do and what I'm capable of. And I'm thankful that I had that position and that God put me in that position because all the jobs that I pretty much had after college, after university, it was just like I learned something from it, even though I hated it or like I didn't like it as much. This last job, like I liked it, but I just had that feeling like it was just like this is just not what I want to do right now, and this is not what I really want to focus on, and I don't see myself growing in this industry and really reaching my full potential. I didn't feel like it was doing me justice at all. And sometimes I feel like when you get to that point, like it's time for a redirection. It's time for change. I do understand like some things you do need to stick out and you do need to persevere so that you can reach certain goals and certain things that you want to reach. But when it gets to a point where it's like, yo, like this isn't really serving me as much as I thought it would be, or this isn't pointing me in the direction that I really want to go or growing me in the direction I really want to go. So it might be time for a redirection. And once you start talking about redirection, it's really focused on changing yourself and changing your environment. Because when you're doing both, it really contributes a lot towards success and it contributes a lot towards the things that you set out to do. So when you change your environment, you have to change yourself as well. So you have to grow. I left that job beginning of April. I decided to take this journey of traveling. I remember just talking to my family and my friends, and some of them thought it was like a crazy idea. They thought I was like super bold for solo traveling and going all the way across the world to kind of do a restart, but I felt like it was the right thing for me to do. I felt like at the time the Holy Spirit was just speaking to me and talking to me, and I kind of sat on it for a couple of months before I even quit my job. And it was like, do I want to stay at this job and think about the places I could have gone and traveled at this time, at this age? And do I want to like, I always thought about like regretting it later on when I got older. Like the older I get, the more hurdles I'll have. You know, you have kids and you'll have other things that you have in your life, but you can still make time to do these things, but it's just going to be a little bit harder right now I don't have anything tying me down. So I have the freedom to do certain things. And I'm just embracing that and cherishing that right now. And the ability to travel and solo travel is something that like I really like. And yeah, I decided to take that journey. I remember telling my parents, and it was like, I thought they were going to think this is the craziest thing ever. But I felt something that, like, it was just in my heart that, or God had put this in my heart to just step out and be in a very uncomfortable position. Yeah. Kirsten, a lot of this has like shifted my mindset from like being in such a selfish state into like a selfless state of mind. Because I never been overseas. Well, I never been to Europe. Like I've been to on cruises when I was a kid and all that stuff, but I never solo traveled all the way across the world, which was like crazy to me to think about. But now that I've been here for about a month and a half, things have pretty much worked out. I feel I've learned a lot about myself and what I'm capable of. And I've taken the steps to grow myself and to build my relationship with God as well. And I feel like that's very important when you're at this pivot stage and you're redirecting and you're trying to go towards things that are fulfilling and work that you really enjoy. It's important to build a relationship with God so that you have direction and you're pointed in the right direction. You're meeting the right people. You're networking with the right people, and they're pointing you in good directions. Because honestly, we rely on each other to reach success. Like you can't do it all by yourself. You have to rely on people, and people that you trust, they should be able to believe in you and believe in your capabilities. I remember the first time I stepped foot in Europe, I was like scared for my life. I was like so uncomfortable. And I thought, like, what the heck? Like, what am I doing here? Like, I was like, this is the craziest thing I ever did. Like, why am I doing this right now? And at the same time, I felt some type of peace with it. It was just like, this gives me so much time to be creative and to meet new people and to experience new things and a lot of things came so unexpected, to be honest. Um, and of course, a lot of things that you plan out aren't gonna really go as planned, but you have to have something laid out before you take a step like that. And I felt like this was a big risk for me and something that I could really grow on regardless whether I fail or I succeed. My main thing was I wanted to network, I wanted to create more, I wanted to step out of my comfort zone. And I feel that I'm doing that. And I don't feel like I was doing that at first strongly, but now I'm getting more into the groove. Now that I've gotten used to just being in the uncomfortable, being around a lot of people that don't even, well, English might not even be their first language. And yeah, it's kind of just like, it's crazy because it's way different than being in America where I'm so used to everything and I could have restarted in a different state. If you're in a similar position, I think it's important to go after the things that God has put on your heart, and you will know it. You will have a feeling, and things just won't sit right to you. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. When those things left my life, at the same time, I've grown like new friendships and new relationships. So it wasn't all bad. I'm thankful for that. One thing that God has been truly talking to me about is becoming a better leader and really becoming a selfless person instead of being so selfish. I felt like the past years I've been in this really selfish mindset of getting to certain places and doing certain things for myself and reaching this amount of success, and I'm not really thinking about like my decisions and how they affect other people, and how it affect family and all of that stuff, which you have to kind of take that in consideration sometimes. And I feel like now, since I've been here, I've learned so much about being selfless. I'm getting so much help from people that don't even know me. And they're just meeting, first day they're meeting me, they're so welcoming and showing me around and telling me stories and doing all, and willing to take care of me and all that stuff, which is wild to me. And I wouldn't even imagine myself doing the same thing for somebody else. But now I can see that. I believe that everything was just, I had to do everything myself. I got to do everything for me, and it's just got to be me alone, which no, it doesn't have to be you. And of course, you got God by your side, but you got other people out here that are willing to put their faith in you and believe in you. It was a guy that I talked to in Crete. He told me about his daughter that he adopted, and how just people that see something in you and that have belief in you, and they believe that you will succeed in certain things, they will do so much for you. And he felt that way when he adopted this kid from, I forgot where she was from, but she became a really good basketball player, and she's still like a really good basketball player and is working towards a college scholarship where she's already being recruited and like at a young age. And that stuck with me. And another thing was just meeting all these other people that had so many stories. And I remember talking to a guy about travels and how traveling just gave him so much. It was so creative to him. It gave him so much insight, and it just inspired him to do certain things, and he brought back so much creative ideas back home. And I felt like that made me look at things in a different perspective and a different lens. And me going back home, I feel like I bring so much more to the table than I did before. I feel much more, I feel like a changed person, really. Not entirely, but in the aspect of like the little things. Like I said, I wanted to grow my relationship with God. I wanted to build a better relationship with myself and grow more confidence and all those things. And I feel like when you're going towards things and you kind of don't know where to go, and you're trying to find what's fulfilling for you, and say a new job or something or like that, it's important to really grow yourself and to really grow your relationship with God. Like, some people don't realize that like God will do things so fast in your life. He can make things change in an instant. Sometimes we think things will be like so slow. And so I'm not going to lie, my life, majority of the time, everything has come very hard. Like, I've had to work super hard. And I always look at other people like, why have they reached this point and I haven't gotten there? But that's not my journey. And I always got to think like God will make so many things happen in an instant. All we have to do is have faith and trust. And that's what I feel like I did when I traveled all the way over here. It was just like, it was a big step out on faith. It was a big step out on faith. And the crazy thing was, I didn't like believe it, but like people back home were inspired by just seeing me travel and just seeing me just living.